Sweet children, be ever ready. I will not tell you on what date, what time the destruction will start. You are already seeing the things are ready. But I am asking you, children, are you ready? Should I now change over to golden age? Are you ready? I am waiting for you. How long you want me to wait? For years and years I have been waiting. I went to Avyakt Dham, to the subtle world, to call you, to make you subtle, angelic. Because if I am in corporeal form before you, you have the habit. In life after life you have been conscious of the physical. And you will also be conscious of my physical form. So now I attained because this form, this subtle form, angelic form, Avyakt Brahma, just to help you to attain that angelic form. When will you become angels? One of the stage which Baba is saying is to become like angels, Baba has been saying. So when will you become angels? Children, be ever ready. Time left is very small, very short. Later on, don't complain. Baba, you didn't tell us beforehand. Again and again and over again, I have been reminding you. How many times do you need to be reminded? Even the Indian government, which is the most lazy government in the world, which does not listen to your applications, just throws them in the garbage, in the waste paper basket. Even if you just go on reminding, sending reminders one after the other by registered post, by faxes, by other means, one day it wakes up, you see. And Baba has given us so many reminders. Have you kept any count of it? Just read the Murlis from so many years. He has been saying, be ever ready. Open the book on Avyakt Vanis and you just take notice of it. Since when he began to say, children become ever ready. You see. Not to say ever ready, we are not even ready. You see. Ever ready is out of question. But even ready is something expected of us, which is more than what we can do, what is to be done. So then Baba asks us, okay then, when will you be ready? Don't you wake up, you see. Now, I would take to simplification. You must have studied, all of you, mathematics, if not higher mathematics, elementary mathematics, mathematics in secondary schools, you see. There were questions on our arithmetic known as questions of simplification. 5 multiplied by 10, then there is bracket, this minus this, raised to the power this, then the bracket is again multiplied by another, and so on and so forth. It is a big line, you see. And then we are asked to simplify. And the result is 2, 5, 6, 7, that's all. So many figures vanish ultimately, and the result is very small. This in arithmetic is called the process of simplification. So many things I told you, so many things Baba also told you. Now I just take to simplification, like in arithmetic, you see. Now simplifying all this, the other day in Avyakt Vani, Bab Dada said, children have ruling power. He has simplified it for us. Okay, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. If you can't do anything, have ruling power, you see. At least you have to do something. So now he has made it so simple and given this simple statement of 3 words. Have ruling power. That's all. A small baby also can remember you if you just, the mama asks the baby to say, have ruling power, have ruling power, have ruling power. Even the parrot can say, you see. And when I was in Australia staying with somebody, when we came back home, he and me together, then the parrot which he had he would say, David, you have come. David, you have come. The parrot would say, you could easily understand what he's saying. David, you have come. He had learnt. You see. So even if because there are two kinds of parrots, Baba says, I have no experiment with it, no experience of it. Baba says one is with something around that blue, around the neck. Others are without that sign, that blue sign around the neck. So Baba perhaps make this observation, I don't know, you see. So he says, those who have that kanthi, that something around a mark around their neck, they can learn. Others who don't have, they can't learn. So even if we were parrots, let us be at least those parrots who are with a kanthi, who can learn. These three words, have ruling power, have ruling power. When you get up in the morning, say, Baba, good morning, I will have ruling power. That's all. When you sleep, go to the bed, say, Baba, good night, I tell you, I assure you, I will have ruling power. Say that. Just remember this small thing, have ruling power. What do you mean by having ruling power? Because I told you that even every point is an ocean of knowledge. Just this is simplification. But before the simplification, that arithmetical question is so much, if you write it. Now, what do you mean by ruling power? What are you supposed to have? What does a ruler have to do? What kind of ruling power you are supposed to have? A ruler commands things. One who rules, who issues the orders, gives the commands. This must be done. It will be done, you see. So you should have commanding power. The ruling power, that commanding power is the ruling power. There may be a ruler. He has all the paraphernalia of a ruler. He lives in a palace. He has a lot of military. He has his robes and dress like that of a king. His treasures are full of diamonds and gems. All other things are there, but nobody obeys his directions. He is not a ruler, you see, because his word does not work. His currency is not honored, you see. So if you want to be a ruler, it means you should be able to command, you see. What are you supposed to command? So there are certain things which you have to have in order that you can command. In this case, as Baba is using it in spiritual terminology, one is to start. When you want to start a thing, you can start. Baba says you want to raise your arm. You tell the arm to rise. The arm rises. The arm does not say no, you see. Mind rules all your physical organs. It commands all your organs. I am sitting here. I decide I want to go. Actually, I don't want to go. Don't think that I will be doing before completing it. But let me suppose for a moment I say to myself, I want to go. My feet, first of all I stand, then my feet begin to move in a particular direction. Where I left my shoes, I put on my shoes and so on. Everything begins one after the other. So start. When you want to command a car, first of all you start, you see. So you should be, when you have the commanding power, the ruler power, whatever you want to start, you should be able to start. You want to think of Baba at this time, and instead of Baba coming to your mind, something else is, some gulab jamun or rasgulla is coming to your mind. Maybe ice cream is coming to your mind, you see. So you are not a ruler. The ice cream is ruling you, not you ruling the ice cream, you see. So in order that you may be a ruler, you should be able to command. And in order that you may be able to command, it has certain signs. One of these is that you should be able to start. When, what, the way you want to start. I think of subtle world. This is the thought I want to start. My meditation process, I should be able to start. I want to write, I should be able to do it with concentration. Otherwise, concentration cannot come. Concentration is very essential for meditation. And meditation and concentration is possible when you are able to control. So Baba calls it controlling power or commanding power or ruling power. And that means you should be able to start whatever you want to start, when you want to start, the way you want to start, as long as you want to keep it starting. You see. Number one. Number two is to hold. I think of Shiv Baba. This is how I start. Then I think of soul world. I think of Shiv Baba. The golden red light there. Now I want to hold my mind there. Let my mind not come back to this world, to the kitchen, to the study room, to the bedroom again. Let it be there with Shiv Baba in Paramdham, you see. So the second commandment is that I want mind to hold. In any system of yoga, it is essential to hold your thoughts. Mere concentration is not enough. If your concentration lasts just for a few seconds, and then again your mind fritters away, it runs amok, here and there it goes, then it is not that quality of concentration which is essential, which you want to need. Hold. You ask somebody stop, he should stop, you see. You go and do this work, he should immediately go and say, yes sir, I do it, you see. That kind of command, then only you are a ruler. So the first is to start. The other one is to hold. Then the third one is to restrain. To restrain. Suppose I am talking to somebody. He is also giving me some response. I am listening to him. But he is using such rough language, impolite language, rustic language. I feel very bad about it. I want to say something to him in a very little harsh way. You see, I hold my mind. I should be able to hold my mind. Don't do this. It will spoil relations. And there will be enmity, estrangement, so many bad consequences. It's better to keep silent. Or if I can't keep silent totally, I want to tell him something, but with restraint. I don't just want to burst out, you see, with restraint. But brother, please listen to me. What is my standpoint, what I want to say? All right, you have put up your thing, but what do I think about it? Now give me a chance, listen to me. So the idea there is that my mind is sometimes boiling because my old sanskaras are such, for example, that if somebody provokes me, I feel that I must strike back, but I must restrain. Then only I become a yogi. By practice of it again and again, then only I will be able to change my sanskaras. So if I cannot completely hold, or I think there is no need of completely holding, it requires explanation, clarification. I must tell him because he has misunderstood, there is some wrong impression. Let me wipe it out, let it make clear. Then I should use a language with some restraint, you see. So then I should be able to control my mind, to rule my mind, to command my mind. Okay, speak something, but with restraint, balance, patience, sweetness. That is what restraint means. Don't just burst out, not in an uncivilized way. You must not lose your royalty, your dignity. You are the child of God. How should your actions be? If He is behaving in a different way that is reflecting His personality, What should your personality be? You should be mindful of that. So I restrain myself. This is the power to rule. Then another one is to stop. It is different from holding and restraint. Totally stop. Absolutely no other thought. Maybe that previously I was saying, I am a soul, I am a soul, I am a point of light. Shiv Baba is there, Shiv Baba is there. This is Paramdham. I am having these thoughts. So I am holding only to these thoughts. No other thoughts. Holding only to these thoughts. But what I mean by stopping is stopping all thoughts. Just going into the experience stage, experiential stage. Feel the bliss. Sometimes when you see someone, certain thoughts come up in your mind. But at other times it so happens that you just are in a state of ecstasy. You just be in that ecstatic stage, a blissful state. Have an experience of it, you see. Even this repeating, like someone giving commentary and my mind working along the commentary, having some kind of a restraint, that is it. Not thinking of other things. But just when you want to stop, stop, you see. These are great powers. Ultimately, if we develop those powers, if there is raining, I say stop. The clouds must stop. They say of Saint Francis, the sparrows were chirping and he was offering prayers. They were making a lot of noise and they say, he said stop, and they stopped, you see. If I can stop my mind, I can stop others also. You know that Uri Geller who came to London, he, in a particular determined mind, resolved mind, you see, would concentrate his mind and would say, all the clocks and watches, wall clocks, hand watches, wrist watches, so on and so forth, stop. Stop. Even the watch stops, and we cannot stop even human beings, not even the dogs, you see. If they bark, they keep barking, we cannot stop them, you see. Because we have not yet developed that power. When we think stop, they should stop. Even the running train should stop. But we are not using those powers for these, because otherwise we are going out of our way to wrong paths, misusing our powers, trying to show miracles to the people. These powers can be attained. They come as a result of all this. But those people are using it for just tamasha, showing it to people and making their livelihood, earning something. If no money, at least name and fame. But we don't want all these things. We want people to tell them how to stop the mind on Shiv Baba or in meditation so as to gain that blissful experience. That is where we stop. But we should be able to stop. That should be the ruling power, you see. Then another is let go. Let go. Let it go. Someone is saying foolish things, abusing, insulting, crying at the top of his voice, crying hoarse, you see, using rubbish language, everything. I just smile and I say, let it go. I should be able to do this. Let it go. Baba says, dekhte hue bhi mat dekho, sunte hue bhi na suno. Even when you see, you sometimes feel that you don't see. You are hearing what this man is saying, but as if you are not hearing, you see. How is it that I hear and then I also don't hear? How can both the things be at the same time, you see? To move and not to move, how is it possible? At the same instant of time. But in this case, it means you let it go. Arre jaane do bhai, चलने दो, छोड़ो इसको, ये पागल आदमी है. You say this man has come some screw loose in his mind, you see, and I have no screwdriver to make it tight, you see, whatever, so let it go. Useless, why waste my time, my breath, my words, my energy, my time? I lose my royalty, my dignity. Why should I follow this man? He is not my leader, you see. Let him go, you see. So, to let go, you rule your mind and say, let go. People sometimes do so many wrong things, and you, out of your mercy, forgive them. You can't forgive them if you have no command on your mind and you don't let things go. You will say, why should I let it go? Hang him. He did this very bad thing. He should be punished. So, sir, what punishment he should be given? He should be hanged. You see, that also is a ruling power. You see, because when you want to start something, you can ask people to start his process of hanging, you see. That also is start. But here in this case, you say, in a fit of anger, without understanding the consequences. Or maybe his intention was not this. This poor fellow has done this something wrong. Instead of hanging him, give him life imprisonment. And if he shows good behavior during this period, after 10 years, maybe after 8 years, you remit his imprisonment and let him free, you see. This is what is called love and law combined, you see. How can love and law be combined? Unless and until we let it go. Let it go. Even in our spiritual institutions, centers, spiritual families, some people do certain wrong things. We do take actions against him, but sometimes we say, let it go. This poor fellow, because of his old bad sanskaras, has done something very nefarious, very bad, no doubt. But where will he go? There is no other place, you see. At least he is sincere, he has confessed. And he wants somebody to help him out of this situation. It is beyond him. But his mind wants to attain that thing, freedom from this. So we say, let it go. Jaane do bhai. Ye sab chhod do ise. That is what we say. So this ruling power is to let it go. Then also to take action. A ruler must also take action. If he just says, let it go, everything let it go, then it can't be the ruler, you see. A ruler must know how to rule. Sometimes he has to take action. He has even to punish, you see. He has to do justice. Somebody has done grave injustice to somebody. Cruel person has been killing indiscriminately anyone who comes his way. And we can't say, let it go, you see. It's not a small thing, let it go. Must take some exemplary action so that others don't follow him. That should be our approach. That we have to do. So, to take action. Take action. In our case, there are many things on which we don't take action. Baba asks us to do this, to do that, to do it. We postpone things. We put them aside. We don't take action. Certain things which require immediate action. Some files which have the label at once, others have immediate, you see. Others urgent, so on and so forth, showing what category of case it is, so on. We are not taking any action, and in the meantime the result is so bad, you see. The things go worse than before. The situation goes out of hand. So the ruler is one who must be awake, must take action. Not only action, timely action, proper action, strong action, exemplary action. Because he has to rule. People should know there is a king. If we do something wrong, he will take notice of it. And he will give us punishment. If they think that he is a person who he says every time let it go, then they will say, do anything, whatever you want to do. He will ultimately say, let it go. You see. Can't be a king. You see. He can be a Jain sadhu. He cannot be a king. You see. If you want to be a king, different from a sadhu, you see, from someone who is just a recluse, a hermit. A hermit is someone different. But you are a ruler to govern. So, wherein lies the governance? When the kings come to the court, to the darbar, someone announces, His Majesty the King, and they say so many titles before his name. He comes. Everybody stands up. Must stand up because he is the king. They stand up. And then after he has taken his seat, then only they sit. And they have to talk gracefully. In the presence of the king, they can't laugh wildly. They can't do certain things in an unparliamentary or undivine or unroyal ways. They have to observe the laws of the court. When the king, His Majesty, His Highness is there, there has to be a particular kind of an atmosphere there. That shows that he is a king. Otherwise, what is the difference between a king and an ordinary person? You see. Similarly, you should have dignity, some kind of a royalty, a divinity, and you should be able to take action, notice of it. You need not always be told by people. You just see and you notice what is happening. Open eyes, the bullseye. They say the bullseye. The king should have. He should be able to observe what is happening. He should be aware of what is happening where, and then take proper action. So there should be power of administration to rule the others. Here also, while you are a spiritual person, a yogi, there are some people with whom you have to work in a team. The captain has to do the work of a captain. You see. The center in charge is the center in charge. The regional in charge, or what you call RCOs, are RCOs. The head of the institution is an head of the institution. And there should be a proper protocol. That must be observed. And the person who has got that stage should be observing this, whether it is happening like that. Then only that person is the ruling power. Then only that person will become the ruler in the next world. Though there you don't require this kind of thing, but this kind of ability has to be developed so that at the subtle level it works there. People, it's not that they would be afraid of you, but your very presence will inspire in them some kind of a discipline, self-control. Here there are laws, rules and regulations which people have to observe. But in their case, there will not be any written rules and regulations, but there are some people who are very graceful, very majestic in their gait, in their walking, in their talking, in their seeing, in their behavior, that all people want to, they feel, like Baba said in his biography, whenever he used to tell us about his life, that when kings came to him, or when he was with the kings, they would say, God has committed one blunder. Dada Lekh Raj, God has committed one blunder, we know. He might be committing other blunders, we don't know. But one blunder we are aware he has committed. What is that blunder, you remember? He said, actually you should be the king, not we. You should be the king. But he made us the king and he made you the jeweler. He has made this mistake, they used to say. Because Baba had that royalty of manners, those kingly habits, you see, those graceful ways of doing things. so that the words came from their mouth. The kings themselves saying that actually you should be the king instead of us. And they went even to the extent of saying that God committed this blunder, you see. So we should also take action. It's not that sleep over things, doing nothing. Now, just a few minutes. Very often we say that we want to have this because Baba says this. We are very aware of it. We very much feel that we should attain this stage and so on, these powers. But what should we do? You see, we are paying attention. Attention. I asked many persons, after Baba gave this Murli, is there some change in your life? Do you feel that after getting this Murli from Baba, you feel that it has changed you in some way? You feel some betterment? Many of them gave the answer, yes. I said, what is that? They said, now we are paying more attention. That's all. More attention. I asked them, what do you mean by attention? What attention you are paying? On what you are paying attention? What is that on which you are paying your attention? That they were not clear. No doubt, first of all, we have to pay attention. But attention on what? You see, you want to catch a thief. In my childhood days, generally the thief, you see, used some, what they say, the black powder. He rubbed the black powder with oil on his body, just use a linen cloth, and in the night when it would be completely dark, they would go and steal things, pilfer things from people's houses. That was one way of the thieves going to some people's houses. In the darkness they could not be seen, but they could perhaps see. They had the cat's eyes. They could see. So one of my class fellows, my friends, and he said, today I was sitting on my father's shop and I saw the thief, you see. I said, he must not be a thief if you have seen him. What do you mean by that? Because he had heard that thieves are black, you see. Thieves are black, totally black. So that, just as they say, you cannot find a black cat in a black, dark room, you know, when absolutely there is no light. So that is how the thieves come. What was happening was there were black sheep going in front of his shop. And he told his father, Father, thieves are going, you see. His father was astonished. He said, where are the thieves? He said, but these are the thieves, don't you see? He said, oh no, these are the lambs, the sheep. He said, but somebody told me that the thieves are black, you see. And they are also black, so they are thieves, you see. So he did not understand what thieves are like, what thieves do. He just understood only one thing, because the method which they adopted to steal things, you see. So you pay your attention. Pay your attention on what? You see. So I think these are some of the things on which we have to pay attention in order to have these ruling powers. One is, I find Baba says, Ichha Matram Avidya. The whole cause of trouble, the root cause of trouble is our ambition. Over-ambitious. Those who are over-ambitious, they come into conflict with others. They compete badly with others. And that competition, that ambition, high ambition, leads them to jealousy. And after leading them to jealousy, it leads them to hate those people who are attaining something when he is not attaining. He hates them. And when he hates, then is born anger in his mind about those people. And then he begins to denounce them and tell lies, you see. So the trouble starts from being over-ambitious. And therefore Baba said, Ichha matram vidya. You should have no desires. Okay, without desires we can't be. Some desires are necessary. Without life, that life would be no more. But what I mean to say is we should not be ambitious. Even if you want to have some ambition, good ambition, okay, have it. But don't be over ambitious, because that is the cause of whole turmoil. That will lead you to conflict. When you say there were no negative thoughts or there were negative thoughts, what do you mean? The negative thoughts are of three kinds. If you just make the groups of negative thoughts, what are the negative thoughts about? Either the negative thoughts are about some persons with whom you have conflict, who misbehaved with you or whom you don't like. They are not nice to you. They forget that you helped them in their days and so on. So because of one reason or the other, you have not good relations with somebody, some people, and they come to your mind again and again, and you feel bad about it, and therefore you say that you have had negative thoughts. That is one thing. One group of thoughts, negative thoughts. The other is your sanskaras, you see. Sometimes there is no reason for you are being in a serious mood or for losing your mood, but some sanskara comes up in your mind and you get bad taste in it. So that brings negative thoughts in it. Then the other is that you take notice of the failures, the shortcomings, the minus points, the dark points in others, their weaknesses. You see, when you always have the habit of noticing the other's weaknesses, then you have negative thoughts. You don't like them, you hate them, and then hate again brings you misbehavior with them. Then again you repent, I did not do something which was good, and so on. It leads to a chain of certain thoughts. So this again is something. So what I wanted to say was that you should pay attention to these things. One is that you should pay attention to having no over-ambitiousness, and therefore you should be free from jealousy, hatred, all these negative thoughts. Then another important thing is, I think the time is over and it is time for meditation, so I finish it here. Om Shanti. 5 minutes? Okay. So some 3 or 4 more points. One is routine violation. When you don't do things Five minutes more? Okay. So I was saying that one of the other things is that we violate our routine. Either we don't get up at Amrit Vela, or we don't observe traffic control properly, or we don't, while offering our bhog or food to Baba, remain in his awareness, in his consciousness. We don't meditate during the evening. We don't read Murli daily. So certain instructions have been given to us by Baba, which form a part of our daily routine. So we may be violating that routine. So daily we disobey Baba a number of times. Morn till evening we disobey Baba. You just tell me, if you disobey someone for years, day after day, will he give you his inheritance when you are disobeying a disobedient person? You see. And that also not just by chance or by due to certain reasons or for a day or two, but for so many days and months and years. If one violates this, what will be the result? So this is done. Then another is that we don't realize Baba says you should have realization and determination. We just don't make up our mind, we must do it. We are not having that strong resolve. We are just, thinking that we will do it, but not so particular about it, not feeling any zealous and zeal about it. So that is one of the reasons. Then we don't say that he is Karan Karavan Har, that whatever he is getting done, I am just an instrument, and it is all his work, his grace. The work of re-establishment of golden aged world is his. I am just a small instrument in that work. Actually, it all is being done by him, the Lord Almighty. I forget this. And therefore, I do not make proper efforts. And when I don't make proper efforts, Baba says, Himmat-e Marda Madad-e Khuda. If you just help yourselves, then God also helps you. If you don't make any efforts, how can God help you? So since we don't make any sincere efforts, so Shiv Baba also does not help us. Our sanskaras may have been bad, we may be weak in many subjects, but let us make sincere effort. And Baba says, I will help you. The only condition is that you must make sincere efforts. I will help you. That is his promise, his guarantee. But the efforts have to come from you. If we do this, we pay attention to this. These are the things to which we have pay attention. When we pay attention to this, then we can attain the stages which I just said. Thank you. Om Shanti.